Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, ladies and gentlemen, everybody on YouTube, Facebook, the House of Nerdum, and of course, Captain Ron's last call. He knows what I mean. I'm probably screwing it up, but hey, I know I'm not perfect. If I was, I'd be Kurt Henning's son. Anyway, it is time for another week of NFL predictions. It's week number 6. But before we get to week 6, and probably what people will say on my insane picks, depending who you are, let's go back in time to what week 5 brought us. In week 5, the Cardinals destroyed the 49ers, making the 49ers on that list of teams that I told people before the season started that the Niners would be the worst team. Patriots destroyed the Browns, no shocker there. The Eagles lose their first game of the year to the Lions, which was the upset of the week. The Colts beat the Bears in a very good game, actually. The Titans beat the Dolphins very easily. The Redskins win their third game in a row, beating the Ravens, who have now lost back-to-back. The Vikings showing they are the most dominant team in the NFL right now, as they beat the Texans, and they are the only undefeated team left. The Steelers soundly put the Jets to sleep. The Broncos lose their first game of the year to the Falcons of all teams, who I still say don't have a defense, but they still won, so congratulations. The Bills got my upset pick of the week correct when they beat the Rams in Los Angeles. My Cowboys shocked the world, and probably Stephen A. Smith cried about it, as my Cowboys beat the Bengals. The Raiders beat the Chargers after the Chargers blew another fourth quarter lead. The Packers destroyed the Giants, and the Buccaneers beat the Panthers in what, as of right now, is one of the worst Monday night games of this year, mostly because of the fact both teams banged up, no real star quarterback, no Cam Newton, and all that. So, I went 10-4 in week 5, and I am 42-35 for the season, so that is pretty good. Now, of course, we got some shout-outs to do to the man who actually predicted on my comment section that the Broncos would lose, Sinister134. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Congratulations on that. You got that one right. I was wrong, and I can admit that. I'm always going to admit that. Also, a shout out to Joey K, one of my buddies on Facebook, and again, a shout out to Tim G, who always comments on my YouTube channel. Also, a shout out to my boy, who is a Packers fan, Travis Glenn. We're not going to get along this week. And a shout out to Joey V as well, who's another friend of mine on Facebook. I think Joey K's somebody else. I'm kidding. Joey K, shout out again. Also, shout out to Mr. Rashad, who's a Titans fan. Brandon, who's a Giants fan, so I'm sure he's like, also a shout out to my mom, who's not feeling well this week, so hope my mom feels better. Also a shout out to Captain Ron and Mr. T. Sean Jones, and by the way, remember to watch Face Off Generations. The third episode is up right now on YouTube and on Facebook, so if you haven't watched it yet, please go check it out. Also a shout out to Justin Baker and High Class Wrestling, CHW. Also hello to my Uncle Steve and his family. So a shout out to the Redskin fan of mine, Mr. Lomax. I'm sure you're happy the Redskins won this past week, so congratulations. Also a shout out to Ann, Brad, Andrew, aka the Ghost of Tess, Ashley Clark, and the Lonely 49er fan, David Goodrich. So there's the shout outs for this week. If you got one, hey, congratulations. If you didn't, try again next week. You might get lucky. Now, of course, to the notes for this week. First off, Gary Kubiak will not be coaching this Thursday night due to his health reasons. He is expected back Monday, though. The special teams coordinator, Joe D, because I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name, is the interim head coach for this week. So keep that in mind. I don't think that the interim head coach for 1 week is going to affect anything. Also, the Browns have claimed Jonathan Cooper, who plays offensive lineman, off waivers from the New England Patriots. That is funny. Also, Eddie Lacy's ankle injury does not appear to be a long-term, but unfortunately, as of Monday and still today, the Packers couldn't say for sure that their top running back would be ready for this Sunday's game against my Cowboys. Now, I know my buddy Travis, he's going to be keeping an eye on that injury report because he know Dallas has nothing to lose here because Dallas is playing with house money. In my eyes, no one respected, even I didn't think, I do pick them every week, that we would be 4-1 with 2 rookies at the helm. I do think it's going to be an interesting game, the Packers and Cowboys, and we'll talk more about that in a little bit. Also, Remember, the 2-3 Buccaneers and the 5-0 Minnesota Vikings have a bye this week. So if you have any of them in your fantasy teams, please remember to go fix that so you don't get fucked. And that's probably the thing. Also, the 49ers will start Colin Kaepernick this week as quarterback against the Buffalo Bills. This could either work in their favor or it could hurt them. And the reason I say hurt them is there may be some Bears players who disagree with him kneeling. So, yeah. Would it shock me if any of them were? No, not really. I mean, it is a free country. People will believe what they want and do. It is that. So, now the question's going to be, can Colin Kaepernick win the game? That's going to be the question. Because if he looks like he's not playing up to par like he used to be, it's going to be a problem for the 49ers. Also, the Lions have signed running back Justin Forsythe and Trevor Sermon, I know I'm mispronouncing that name, does expect to start Thursday against the Chargers. We shall see if that is true. Now, of course, my question of the video before we get to my predictions is this. Who is the worst team in the AFC and the NFC in your eyes? As far as I'm concerned, I know everyone's going to be shocked I'm not saying Cleveland. The worst team to me in the AFC is San Diego. Because they have blown so many fourth quarter leads this year. I think almost every game they've lost, they blew the lead in the fourth quarter. That is disturbing to me. And I feel sorry for Rivers because, he's getting effed over by it. As far as for the NFC, who the worst team is, as much as I would like to say the 49ers, so Goodrich, you luckily get a pass right now. I'm going to go with the Panthers. Maybe it's because they're suffering from the Super Bowl hangover, and all that. Cam Newton hasn't been playing as the MVP he is. But the Panthers, to me right now, I'd have to say the worst just because of the fact we expect so much more from them. Let me know what you think. Who is the worst team in the AFC and NFC? If I like what you say, I may give you a shout out next week. Now, moving on to my picks. They are 15 games this week, as I said, as the Bucs and Vikings have a... Is it 15 or is it 14? I cannot recall. Because I am stupid. So anyway, here we go. Game 1, it will be the Broncos taking on the San Diego Chargers. I have the Broncos on this one. I don't trust the Chargers at all. To me, they're a fluke of a team. So yeah, there's that. So go Broncos. I know the quarterback may be the backup again, but San Diego can't hold a fourth quarter lead to save their life. Moving on, the Bills go home to take on the 49ers. I'm taking the Buffalo Bills here. I had them picked before Colin Kaepernick got announced as starter. It is a little worrying, though, because they're going to be playing a different quarterback, but I think the Bills' defense, who I do like, will step up. It's that offense of the Bills I have a hard time trusting. The Eagles take on the Redskins, and what was one of my hardest picks this week, because of the fact of Redskins have been on a roll the last few weeks. They have been hotter than an NFL cheerleader, while the Eagles just lost their first game. And I'm taking as an upset here. I am taking, believe it or not, I am taking the Redskins here. I'm sure that's going to shock all my friends who are Redskin fans. They'll be like, did Doug just say that? Yes, I am taking the Redskins on this game. I do think I do think it's going to be a good game. I do think it's a toss-up because of everything. But, I'm just taking the upset here on this, guys. I'm not trying to really, do anything else other than that. See if I can get an upset pick correct. But I will say, though, the Eagles, they lost. They're still the better team. But Redskins are hot. They've won 3 in a row since losing those first 2 games. Moving on. We have the... Oh, what the... Don't you hate when you hit the wrong button? Go back. Would be the Browns taking on the Titans in Tennessee. I'm taking the Titans on this one. I still don't trust the Browns at all to save my life. They are a terrible team. Granted, this is the one game they can actually win because of the fact the Titans are not that great either. But I think the Titans, with the good running game they've been showing, and Cleveland's just a terrible team. I'm sorry, I know I'm repeating myself, but who's the starting quarterback for Cleveland this week? Can somebody tell me? Because I don't know. It could be me. They could be calling my phone right now and saying, hey, Doug, we would like you to come to Cleveland. I'd say no thank you, because even I don't want to play for them. Moving on, and this was a hard pick for me just because of what's going on with them. Ravens don't really have a run game. The Giants have been looking lost since the win against Dallas. So I'm like, okay, who do I pick? This one was a hard one for me because of how both teams have played. But I am taking the Ravens on this one. For some reason, I just feel more confident with them. Not greatly right now because the run game is terrible, but at least I trust their defense more than the Giants at this point. Sorry, Brandon. I have to do it. Moving on, we have another tough game, the Panthers and Saints, mostly because the records are crap and neither team's really shown up. I'm taking the Saints at home on this one. If Cam Newton's playing, then I think the Panthers have a better shot, but they're still not playing as a team that won the NFC Championship and that a lot of people had going back to the Super Bowl. They're not playing as that team. They're playing like a team that has no clue what they're doing. Again, maybe it's because of that losing the Super Bowl curse. Who knows? But I'm taking the Saints on this one. I just feel more confident with them with their, Drew Brees. I said it before and I said it again. It is hard to pick against that man sometimes, particularly in this case. Moving on. The Jaguars take on the Bears, and this was another hard one just because of the fact that neither team has really shown up. I picked the Jaguars in this one. I'm not 100% confident with it. The young team, Chicago looks like they're playing for a draft pick at this point because they don't look like a team that's going to be a threat to anybody. If I'm Chicago fans, be happy that your Cubs could win the World Series because I don't think it's going to be the Bears bringing you a Super Bowl in the near future, particularly this season, the way it's looking. So, go Jacksonville Jaguars. I can't believe I'm saying that. Moving on, we head to Detroit as the Rams take on the Lions. I'm taking the Rams on this one. Yes, they did just lose in Los Angeles, but they've been a better road team most of the time than at home. I think this is a good game for them to bounce back. Lions really don't have an identity because they don't have Megatron anymore. So, Rams can win this game. The question is, will they? Moving on, Steelers and Dolphins. You know what? Andrew, a.k.a. the Ghost of Test, and everybody in the house and Autumn who's a Steelers fan, I'm taking the Steelers over the Dolphins. Dolphins, again, another team that a lot of people are hyping up during the offseason that's not coming into fruition. Steelers, this should be an easy game for you guys. With that being said, do not do what you did against the Eagles and overlook them because it will bite you in the ass. But I still think the Steelers win this game. Moving on, Bengals travel to New England. I'm taking the Patriots here, guys. Tom Brady's back. Bengals look like they're a hot mess. Patriots should win this game pretty easily because I don't think anybody has faith in the Bengals at this point. Moving on. The Chiefs travel to Oakland, and if you would have told me before the season started that Kansas City would be the underdog here, I would have said you're full of crap. I'm taking the Raiders here, guys. Raiders, Raiders, you're showing me wrong. You're proving me wrong that maybe you are a playoff team. Maybe you can win the Super Bowl right now. I still don't think you're going to, but you're starting to show. Maybe you found the old glory days of the Raiders back when you used to be a beast. I'm taking the Raiders here on this one. It's against my better judgment. Because, I do like Alex Smith and I do like Andy Reid. It's hard to go against the Raiders right now because of how well they're doing. Moving on, and I'm sure this is going to piss off a lot of people. It's Atlanta taking on Seattle, and I'm taking Seattle to win this one. Seattle is a hard team to beat at home. We all know this. And again, I'm going to say this Falcons offense, it is beautiful to watch. But their defense is going to cost them games eventually. And I think this might be the one, because Seattle's defense, Legion of Boom, is still a threat. I don't know why Denver's defense did not show up against Atlanta. It should have. But then, hey, I think one of my buddies, Rock and Reese, you said it best. Atlanta figured out that you're not playing against Peyton Manning. So, yeah, I'm taking the Seahawks on this one, guys. Cowboys at Packers. We know how I'm taking on this one, guys. I'm taking my Cowboys here. This will be a good match, and this is going to be a great test for Prescott because of the fact it's a team that will most likely be back in the playoffs. A team that has always had a great defense. And it's going to be a test for the Cowboys defense to see if they can stop Aaron Rodgers. So it's going to be interesting to see what breaks here. Travis Glenn, I do wish you luck. I hope my team wins. But, let's keep it nice and friendly for once. Moving on to the Sunday night game, Texans and Colts in Houston. I got the Texans, guys. Colts, they did win. They still been disappointing, sadly. I like Andrew Luck. But this is a game that Brock needs to win here. Because if Brock loses this game, because you don't have J.J. Watt, Brock's got to be the one to carry the team now. He's got to be that voice. Because they paid you a buttload of money. If you fail here, you are going to get called a one-hit wonder. I have a feeling. I still think it would be too early to do that, but I see it happening. But I think the Texans win this game. That is my opinion. Moving on to the Monday night game, which I will be watching because I will not be watching Bill Goldberg. It is the Jets traveling to Arizona. Carson Palmer will most likely be back for this game. I'm taking the Cardinals on this one. They got a long day of rest, so Arizona should win this game. Jets, they've had their ups and downs. Unfortunately, Ryan Fitzpatrick has really made me look like an idiot when I said the Jets would make up the playoffs because he has not played like he did last year, which is unfortunate if you're a Jets fan because you needed him to play like he did last year. So, my picks are the Broncos, Bills, Redskins, Titans, Saints, Jaguars, Rams, Steelers, Patriots, Raiders, Seahawks, Cowboys, Texans, Cardinals, and Ravens to get a W this week. Let me know what you think. Do you agree or disagree with my picks? And until next time, this is the Dear UG signing off saying thank you for watching. Have a great week and good luck to your teams in Week 6 of the NFL season. Goodbye, everybody.